Hey, everybody. Last week we did some reading comp on Congress. Uh, we didn't really do that well, so I wanted to go back and review it just a little bit because you should understand the legislative branch. If you recall, the legislative branch, it's set up in the Constitution like our entire government is, and it's set up by, or it's established by Article 1. So, Article 1 of the Constitution sets up Congress, and Congress has two branches or two chambers. The fancy word for this is bicameral. If you remember, the prefix bi means two. That's what helps me remember. It's bicameral. Okay? So, here's a picture of the Capitol building, and it's as simple as one side is the Senate, and the other side is the House. And if you're a senator, you go to work on this side here. There are 100 total senators. You get two per state. If you're a representative, you go to work on this side of the Capitol building. There are 435 total. All right. So how many you have in your state will vary, just like how many electoral college votes you have will vary depending on how many people are in your state. And we determine that by the census again. All right. To get these awesome gigs, there are different qualifications. To be a member of the House, you have to be 25 years old. To be a member of the Senate, you have to be the ripe old age of 30. To be a member of the House, you have to have been a citizen for 7 years. And to be a member of the Senate, you'll have to have been a citizen for 9 years. Now you'll notice on both these, it doesn't say you have to have been born in the United States. The presidency is a little bit different. We'll talk about that later. So, let's not lose track of the idea of Congress. What Congress is there to do is they're there to make laws, pass legislation. But the House and the Senate have some different jobs too. Specifically, the House any legislation dealing with money starts here. All right, and there might be a reason for that. We'll talk about that in a second. All right, the Senate has some pretty cool jobs too. Maybe the most important is confirming, or for that matter, or not confirming presidential appointments. All right, now let's talk about maybe why any legislation dealing with money starts here. I didn't talk to you about the term. If you're elected into the House, you serve a 2-year term. So every 2 years, you have to reapply for your job, and the voters decide whether they want you back. All right. So my thought is, if you're dealing with money, and people tend to get really upset about money, if they don't like what you're doing with their money, they can vote you out in 2 years. Right. The Senate term is actually 6 years. So in 6 years, you have to reapply for your job. You have to be voted in. Actually, the way the Constitution started out initially is that senators were actually appointed by state legislators, but that all changed with the 17th Amendment. All right. So, I mean, these are the big two things. The Senate, they confirm presidential appointments. The House, all the legislation that has to do with money, specifically taxes, has to start in the House. There are some different jobs too when it comes to impeachment, but I'll not test you on this. The House votes to see if there will be an impeachment trial. If there is an impeachment trial, and President Trump this summer, uh, he was impeached, then it goes to the Senate for a vote on whether they actually throw him out of office or not. So just to review this top half again, real fast. All right. Congress, the legislative branch, is established by Article 1 of the Constitution. Congress has two branches. It's the fancy word again is bicameral for that. You've got the House and you've got the Senate. The House has 435 members. The number of members from your state might vary, and it will vary depending on your population. So, Ohio, for example, tends to lose uh, uh, districts, House members, because our population is tending to migrate south and west. All right. The Senate, there's 100 senators, which means there's two per state. With 50 states, that's 100 total. To be a senator, you have to be 30 years old, 9 years a citizen. To be a House member, you have to be 25 years old and 7 years a citizen. So, 2-year term for a House member, 6-year term for a senator. So, we'll throw some questions here at the end of it. I'll give you an opportunity to earn some extra credit. And hopefully, this is going to help you start to get it a little bit better. I hope so. I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks.